In week 4 of 2025, we begin to notice a decline in new discoveries, and the number of rare species present starts to decrease. Among others, species like the dusky warbler, American widgeon, bufflehead, yellow-billed loon, and rosy starling are already lost or dead. What's still around, however, is the mega of the century, the Spectacled Eider on Texel. During winter, many Dutch birders travel abroad for birding trips. Increasingly, they are returning to the Netherlands, hoping to catch a glimpse of the Spectacled Eider. Since the bird is often hundreds of meters away, it's been hard to get good photos, leading many to make multiple trips to Texel in the hope the bird will come closer. That's exactly what happened last Sunday. While preening, the bird drifted closer and closer to the shore until it was only 5 meters away. A few photographers were already in the perfect position, hoping the bird would come ashore. Others, standing atop the dike or just arriving, quickly descended the slope to get closer. Perhaps the bird didn't appreciate this, as it soon increased its distance again. Personally, I'd also love to return for better footage, but I haven't found the time yet. Let's hope the bird sticks around for a while longer and comes closer to the shore more often. For now, you'll have to make do with these cropped shots. The Baikal teal and sun pancras, which many visited on their way back from the Spectacled Eider, was last reported on the 22nd. While the bird has sometimes gone unseen for a few days before, it had been reported daily after new locations were discovered, but now it hasn't been seen for 4 days. This bird may well join the list of species we've lost. Similarly, the bird near the German border hasn't been reported since its initial sighting last week. There is a phone video, but it shows virtually nothing, so unless it's rediscovered, it may not be accepted, despite the finder's reputation as a reliable birder. The ringneck duck in Herugewaard, also seen during the same trip, hasn't been reported since the 20th. This bird, which often stays well into spring, sometimes visits other locations around Herugewaard where it's harder to spot. I'm hopeful it will resurface. I've already filmed this bird, though the footage was taken in fog, so my shots of this species from Appingedam remain my best. A vlog of my misty search for this bird is coming soon. Check if you're subscribed so you won't miss that adventure. The ringneck duck in the dunes has moved back to the Kennemermeer. This spot is easily combined with a visit to the South Pier, a favorite among birders. The lesser scorp in the same dune area remains happily at the Vogelmeer. I was planning to visit this bird with Willem soon, combining it with another species I'll discuss later in this video. Let's first check in on our friend, the Pacific loon. Early in the week, there were some concerns because the bird wasn't reported for a few days after the 20th. However, it was a foggy week, which didn't help. Another challenge is that the bird is no longer being seen up close. It's either staying among the pontoons in the Mattenhaven or being observed from a distance on the Oosterschelde or the North Sea. I was apparently lucky to see this bird up close in the first few days after its discovery. I'd like to spend another day with it, especially since I have some fun targets for my photo year list in Zeeland. Hopefully, this bird sticks around for a while too. There are still Dutch birders abroad who need to see both the Spectacled Eider and the Pacific loon. One exciting species still present is the pygmy cormorant in Lelystad. There's not much more to say about this bird. Its locations are well known and is reported almost daily. I can, however, now show some footage of this specific bird, as my vlog featuring this bird, among others, went online last Monday. A bird I don't yet have footage of is the unpredictable adult Iceland gull in Leiden, so I still have to bother with these clips of an immature bird from several years ago at a waste processing site in Drenthe. Back then, I filmed it with my old Canon 50D, which technically doesn't even have a video function. However, using custom firmware, I managed to record in 1080p quality. Now back to the Leiden bird. Last week, I mentioned that Leiden's market is held on Saturday and found it curious that the bird was missing from Friday afternoon to Sunday afternoon. This week, the bird was indeed absent on Saturday, but also on other days. It was only reported on Monday, Tuesday and Thursday. Adding it to the year list may prove tricky. The Glaucous Gull, however, remained reliably present in the harbor of IJmuiden. Just enter the GPS location of the sighting into Google Maps, and you'll drive right to it. Many people did this, with over 100 reports of the bird this week. 2 additional birds were noted, though one adult was seen flying past the Sea-Watch station on Terschelling, and a second calendar year bird was discovered in the Slufter on Texel. This might be the same bird noted a few weeks ago on the eastern side of the island. It was reported on both the 24th and the 25th. I'm curious to see where and when it will resurface. One bird that hasn't been reported all week is the Richard's pipit in Zalk. On the other hand, the hoepel in Ameland is still holding on, with sightings on 3 separate days. Locating it can be challenging, but once found, it's a remarkably tame bird. However, its plumage isn't particularly inviting for photography. This week, 2 hooded crows were seen, the familiar bird in Kwijdehoek and another in Oogalen, Drenthe. Both can be tricky to find as they cover a relatively large area. The Siberian Whitethroat in Didam seems to be gaining popularity. There have been attempts to collect droppings, but that hasn't succeeded yet. I hope to visit this bird soon, or perhaps I've managed to do so between writing this and the video going live. Keep following the vlogs. A second bird was reported from Texel, cementing its reputation as the bird island, with plenty of exciting finds again this year. The story goes that 2 birders on the path to the horse mages heard a bird making a smacking call. They recorded it, initially thinking it might be a dusky warbler. After consulting Texel birders and comparing it with recorders on Xenocanto, it seems very likely to be a Siberian Whitethroat. However, without a visual or DNA evidence, it won't be confirmed. A dusky warbler would have been easier to prove. Earlier in the video, I mentioned a bird I wanted to combine with the lesser scorp. That's the Hume's leaf warbler in the same June area. Unfortunately, this bird, possibly the same one seen in Hendrikie de Ambacht and Oude Kerk aan Amstel, has already disappeared again. We'll see where it resurfaces next. There's also a bird in the Sallandse Heuvelrug, which appears much more stationary. However, photographing it seems nearly impossible, and I'm not up for another disappointment like Hendrikie de Ambacht earlier this year. Still, I plan to visit the area soon for black grouse, so I might as well give it a shot. Who knows, I might even find a grey-headed woodpecker. That'd be a nice bonus, right? The Pallas's leaf warbler in Beesterswaag hasn't been reported all week, but Siberian chiffchaffs are occasionally found across the country in winter. Many turn out to be untwitchable or difficult to see. One exception is a bird in centrally located Zeist. This bird, which stays near a ditch, is reported by a few birds daily. This week, I also have some interesting sightings from neighboring countries. In France, the second Saka falcon for the country was discovered. A reminder to keep an eye on those high voltage pylons, even in winter. Germany was startled by the discovery of a Western Orphean warbler. A wake-up call for us too. That birding through the winter and carefully identifying every bird is definitely worthwhile. Belgium had a nice sighting just across the border this week, a pale morph hooded eagle. There are still plenty of Dutch birders who need this species, and such reports should certainly give them hope. However, I wonder if this could perhaps be the British bird. Since I don't have a bird guide subscription and am not in British app groups, I have no idea if that bird has been seen recently. If you're a birder from Great Britain, let me know in a comment below. I hope to see you again on Monday for a new episode of the Photo Year List, or otherwise, hopefully next Thursday for another rarity update. Make sure you're subscribed, please hit the like button, and I'll see you next time.